And another tournament favorite has fallen as Croatia continue to extra time shootout and inshallah their way through major tournaments. What a run. My God. Don't worry, I'll give him more credit than that. And what's up, guys? I'm Adrian. Hello and welcome back. It's been a couple of days. I hope you were able to recharge and get your thirst for World Cup football back, because I certainly did. Let's talk about Brazil and Croatia. This match, the Samba fellas versus the Cevapi boys. I miss Croatia. I had such a blast driving through it, and I miss Balkan food a lot. But anyway, a tournament favorite versus a tournament team, I think it's fair to say, about Croatia. Nothing overly flashy from them at all. They just find a way, one way or another, to get through the various rounds of the tournament. And they certainly found a way to trouble Brazil's backline in the first 15 minutes, the back line, not the keeper, through their pressing. They made Brazil into their own worst enemies at the back, coughing up position to guys like Luka Modric, who could play dangerous balls through the box. Juranovic, in particular, playing a scary ball through the box that just eluded both Perisic and Kramaric. But after that, Brazil started to get into the flow of things, and that spark to get them going, for me, could be attributed to Vinicius down the left. Credit to Neymar as well, as he was constantly demanding the ball to take on players and play a wall pass with a teammate, but it was Vini down that left side that was looking the most dangerous. A couple strikes saved or blocked after a nice wall pass with Richarlison. Neymar had a tame effort saved, then a deflected effort went wide. Once they started to really get into the groove, the opportunities came quickly, but none of them were too dangerous, were they? All throughout that opening 25 minutes or so, Croatia really looked up for it and far more tenacious than I'd seen them at this World Cup in particular. It's like in 2018, they get hungrier the deeper they go in this tournament. I mean, Brozovic breaking the record for distance traveled in a World Cup match against Japan, which he had held the previous record, which came against England in 2018. I mean, that's a good representation of how they've been playing. But Croatia's most effective tactic in slowing down Brazil in the first half was to just keep the ball. In the final 15 of the first half, they really started to hang on to the ball more, and when they did concede possession, they played incredibly compact, forcing Neymar so wide that he was nearly hugging the touchline at times in that first half, despite playing a more central role as his starting position. But that didn't last in the early exchanges. Brazil began bossing this match, with Neymar having the two best opportunities, but they were either blocked or saved by Livakovic, who made 5 saves in the opening 60 minutes or so. He was called upon again later when Lucas Paqueta found himself behind the Croatian defenders in the second half, and Livakovic was called upon once again. I mentioned him earlier when he went forward, but Juranovic was incredible defensively tonight as well versus Brazil. He was all over the pitch on Croatia's right side, but still twice Neymar was able to wriggle between him and Lovren to trouble Livakovic, and he was inches away from a goal in the 76th minute. Went for the nutmeg on Livakovic, but his trailing knee put it out for a corner. More opportunities followed, but they were either blocked, went wide, or deflected for a corner, as Croatia were sitting deeper and deeper as time went on. And wouldn't you know it, a match with Croatia was going to extra time. 8 of their last 9 knockout matches have gone to extra time. The last time they won a knockout match in the first 90 minutes was in '98. Not a single shot on target in the first 90 minutes, while Livakovic had to make 8 saves of, I'd say, varying difficulty. Some easy, some harder. And finally, Livakovic was beaten in the 106th minute. A great play that was started by Neymar as he drove at Croatia's defense, lay the ball off to Rodrigo, quick pass to Paqueta, gave it back to Neymar. Now was the all-important moment. Neymar's hip feint to escape Sosa, taking the defender out of it. Now just Livakovic to deal with, and how did he do it? He stepped around an on-rushing Livakovic and hit the ball into the roof of the goal. 1-0 Brazil. It was coming and it arrived thanks to who else but Neymar, and that goal took him level with Pelé for Brazil's all-time top scorer. For Croatia, they just didn't offer anything going forward until then. They weren't even interested in attacking until they conceded, which is exactly why I wanted Brazil to score first in this match. If Brazil scores first, that changes Croatia's approach completely, who are once again happy to just sit back and take their chances in the shootout probably. Once they had to go forward, they showed that they were capable of doing so. They were at least showing some attacking intent rather than just let's cancel out Brazil. And for a neutral, you hate to see the latter. You want to see teams trying to really play football, really trying to score goals, right? That's not a tactic for everyone though. And they finally went forward and finally got a shot on target in the 117th minute. And of course it went in. Of course, there was a massive deflection to take it past Alisson because there's this weird magic force surrounding this Croatian team in knockout round matches of major tournaments. I mean, just in this tournament in general, that same force that took hold of Lukaku's brain so that Belgium wouldn't eliminate Croatia. That got an equalizer out of nothing against Japan, and that got an equalizer out of nothing against Brazil. It's just ridiculous. And you knew that if it went to pens, that they would once again win. Croatia converted only for Rodrigo to have his, of course, saved by Livakovic. Croatia went 3 for 3 while Rodrigo missing, Casemiro converted, and Pedro did brilliantly to convert. 3-2 after 3 kickers apiece. Orsic was the fourth for Croatia and he picked out the corner perfectly. No chance for Alisson, who delayed his dive a bit after getting burned by strikes down the middle previously. Meaning, Marquinhos had to convert his penalty and he hit the post. Croatia win once again after taking another match to extra time, playing tight defensively and offering little going forward once again. A massive deflected shot was their salvation. Very unlucky for Brazil, very lucky for Croatia, but great resilience for them once again. But that's the game, isn't it? It's a cruel game where some teams have more luck than others sometimes, and that was the case today. Luck plus resilience for Croatia, and you need luck to win tournaments. Big shout out to Croatia. That's consecutive semifinals for them and a huge, huge achievement. As for Brazil, they were also guilty of playing with their food a bit around the box and not putting this match away, trying to pass instead of a more direct option at times. But in saying that, you also have to credit Croatia's defense. They were tight, they are compact. They move on. No World Cup for Brazil, despite being one of the heavy favorites coming into this tournament. After Croatia's resilience, what would we see between Netherlands and Argentina? Well, to start, we saw Argentina roll out a back three for the first time at the start of the match in this tournament, at least. I say at the start of the match because they may have switched to a back three at one point previously, and I just didn't remember or notice. I don't know. All these games are getting blurred together, man. It's been a wild couple of weeks. But anyway, that would prove to be a masterstroke from Scaloni at the beginning. As much of the joy that Netherlands had in the attack against the USA, almost all of it came from attacking down the flanks. So this back five ensured that there wasn't much room for the Dutch to squeeze through the flanks. And if they tried to go through the middle, they had to go through three center backs of Otamendi, Lisandro Martinez, and Coutinho Romero, with Enzo Fernandez dropping as well to plug things up centrally. It was a really, really good defensive plan from Scaloni. In the midfield, Enzo was distributing, McAllister and De Paul were the hustle, while Messi and a rather quiet Julian Alvarez were up top. For the Dutch, it was basically the same lineup as against the States, but with Bergwijn starting up front with Depay and Gakpo behind them, just as we had suspected in the preview, right? For Argentina, they have the great difference maker in Lionel Messi, and that's exactly what he was in this match for them. The goal for Argentina came from his brilliance, dribbling inside before hitting a reverse pass through to who? Molina, the wing back, who had roved forward behind Rodrigo de Paul, made a nice overlapping run, and then slashed it past Noppert to give Argentina the lead. I mean, Argentina were really in control of this match for much of it, for all of the reasons that I mentioned earlier. The Netherlands could not get forward for the life of them. They could not pass their way through what became a back five. The dynamic attackers that they had out there, Depay, Bergwijn, and Gakpo, were struggling to find a way through. In the second half, that was also the case, and Argentina found a way to double their lead when Acuna cut inside on Dumfries, and his trailing leg just swiped Acuna's feet under him, meaning Messi would have a chance from the penalty spot, and he scored to make it 2-0. It's here where it felt like this game was just way too easy for Argentina. They were in control and cruising with the Netherlands stuttering and struggling to find a way through. And what do you do when that's happening? You give the defender something completely different to think about. You bring on what was the proverbial Marwan Fellaini to Mourinho, you know? Bring on the big men and start thwacking the ball into the box. Forget about the dynamic players like Depay and Bergwijn. They can't get through that defense. Bring me Luc de Jong and Wout Weghorst so you can go over that defense. And that's exactly what Van Gaal did. That's how the Netherlands got back into this game. First, there was a perfect, and I must say very difficult header from Wout Weghorst in the 83rd minute to make it 2-1 Argentina. At this point, I'm thinking, okay, that's cool, and it will make the ending to this game really fun. And then the scuffle came from Paredes, putting in a trash tackle on Ake and then firing the ball at the Netherlands bench. This was stupid for a few reasons, in my opinion. One, you're giving away a free kick. That could hurt you. 2, you're giving the other team even more motivation to beat you. And 3, it contributed to 10 minutes of added time. That's a lot. When I saw 10 minutes on the board, I mean, you just had a feeling, didn't you? When it's added time, 3 minutes can feel like a lifetime sometimes, while 10 minutes feels like an entire half. And while I had a feeling that the Netherlands could equalize, I didn't really believe they would. And then Petzela lost his head and gave away one of the stupidest fouls I've seen based on the context of this match in particular. Look, as an example, when you're on a yellow card, you are on your best behavior and you don't give the referee an opportunity to make a decision about you with your next foul, right? You play it safe. Similarly, when you have a 1-goal lead in a World Cup quarterfinal, you do not give your opposition a cheap free kick on the edge of the box, because you never know what can happen. They could smash it into the wall. Great. They could hit it over. Great. They could put it directly in from the free kick, or they could pull off one of the most brilliant free kicks that I've seen in recent memory. There was Argentina's wall. Then there was Netherlands' wall in front of them. One of the members of that wall being Wout Weghorst. Him again. Instead of smashing it at goal or floating it to the far post to try and get ahead on it, Koopmeiners passed to Weghorst, standing in the mini Netherlands wall, who turned and rolled it past Martinez to equalize. A stupid foul to give away from Petzela, but a brilliant free kick from the Dutch. Extra time again. And there were opportunities. Lautaro had his shot blocked, De Jong as well, but the best of all fell to Enzo Fernandez in the 121st minute. The ball came to him at the edge of the box, and he hit it purely, and it hit the post. Isn't that cruel? You hit the post with a minute to go, meaning you will be at the mercy of a shootout now. Same could be said of Netherlands, but the opposite. You concede right before it goes to the shootout, where you're denied the chance at a coin flip of winning this. It's a cruel sport, man. Shootouts are very cruel. One thing is certain, if there's one keeper you want for your team in a shootout, beyond Livakovic, of course, is Emi Martinez, a master of shithousery, a master of living rent-free in the heads of takers, and a master of saving penalties as well. That save against Van Dijk was not an easy save. He thumped it, and Martinez had to fly through the air to save it. And he did so for the second one as well. Now, Noppert didn't make a save in this shootout, but my God, it looked like he would have saved Enzo's penalty had it been on target. But in the end, it came down to Lautaro Martinez, of all people, a guy who looked like his confidence is running on fumes. And what does he do? Cool as you like, little stutter step, smash it into the corner to win the match for Argentina and send the Netherlands home alongside Brazil on the day. 1 day, 2 shootouts. And guys, when Argentina win their quarterfinal, they have never lost their semifinal. Just something to consider, as they will be taking on Croatia next week. Should be a good match. I hope it is, at least. So the first semifinal of this Winter World Cup has been set. Croatia will take on Argentina in a match that I don't want to make a prediction for. I'm joking. What I've loved about this World Cup is just how it has surprised us time and time again. You need luck in this tournament in order to advance, some of which you must create with your own quality. I can't wait for tomorrow already, so hopefully you guys will join me for a couple of watch-alongs. Cool? I'm Adrian. Subscribe if you're new around here, and I'll see you soon. Ciao.